YouTube? I am out in the garden, and let's talk about what a wonderful, beautiful day it is, and also how we can't get fooled by fake spring. But I thought that we would do some planting. I brought some of my seeds to start, some cold weather stuff that's not started already. I do have some of my plants out in the greenhouse. Let's go check on those actually. Have we looked at that together lately? I don't think so. Sorry about the spin in the background. I was just turning around because the greenhouse is back here, and how lovely they are. So here they are. This is my spinach. Looking good. Feeling nice and damp under the soil. Sometimes I can overwater spinach and then they stop growing for me. But I just try to, like all plants, pull aside the top a little bit and make sure that it's still wet. My cabbage is looking lovely. These are all Calibos cabbage. I've got some cilantro growing in here, and then some broccoli and cauliflower. This is broccoli and this is a cauliflower. So I think those are looking rather nice. I moved my ginger out here too because it's been so hot, and those buds are still growing. I think it slowed down the growth actually from being inside. I think that one stopped altogether. I don't know. It's my first time with ginger, so I read so many different ways of how to start the ginger, how to, like, you're supposed to break up the rhizome and not wrap it in paper towel, but line a Tupperware in paper towel and put onions in there because they spur on growth, and leave it in a dark place for 2 weeks. And then I also read that just put it in soil and it'll do its thing. Just keep it warm, and I don't know, maybe I'm just not that great at ginger, but it's a try, right? I'm trying, so we'll see. Now in my area, in zone 7, we still have some cold nights coming. Our estimated last frost date is not until April 19th. And so we have some pretty cold nights coming to visit. So what I'm planting out are things that you can start, especially in our area, with absolutely no problem. They can grow even with snow on the ground, and it won't be an issue. So I brought out my lettuce, and I'm gonna plant some of my lettuces because they do just fine. I've got the carrots. I mean, obviously carrots are like, our family eats their weight in carrots every week. And then I brought some of spinach and kale. I want to start my kale seeds, I think, now, and just get started with that. We eat a lot of kale. My kale grows really big too, so I figured I'd take you along that. So, well, there goes my carrots. So I am just going to try it. I've never grown celery. I realized this year that we eat a lot of celery, and I have to kind of adjust, I think, what we're growing. I mean, we want to grow all things, right? Like, that's just, we can't be the only ones who feel that way, where we're like, oh, we just want to grow all the things that we eat sometimes, and just, that's what we want. But we can't do that. We don't have the space. We live in the city. We're not moving anytime soon, so that's just not an option for us. Like probably many of you. Like, I'm sure many of you would love to be able to plant all the things, and you just can't. But we get through it, right? We don't worry about it. And something that has been kind of like weighing on my brain lately. Here, let's go do the carrot. So, some things that, let's put you right there. By the way, all I'm doing is making holes in the ground. I wish you could see it, because then, I mean, you're really here to just see the holes, right? Let's see her put holes in the ground and do it. I'm probably just gonna like mark off some rows here for my carrots. Gosh, we love carrots. It's so crazy. So anyway, I feel very much, or have felt very much, like this past year has changed so much of us. Changed us in ways that we don't necessarily even know yet. Gosh, I was going to just do one carrot type. I was going to do the cosmic purple, but I think I want to do this one first for my first carrot planting. This is the M.I. Gardener rainbow carrots. I mean, how can you go wrong with M.I. Gardener rainbow carrot seeds? They're just like so good. Anyway, I feel like it's changed us all so much, and now that things are starting to peak, or starting to get better for a lot of people, or they feel like it's getting better, my husband and I, we feel very much still very alone. And we've watched some videos on like the homestead life and how it's a hard life. It's a lonely life. It's a life that like people don't understand, or people don't have the same desires you do. And so therefore that it can often be a lonely life. Sorry, I'm sewing this pretty thick right now. As thick as I've ever sewn carrots, which is not that thick to be honest, but because I don't like thinning things. It hurts my heart to thin them and take out all those baby seedlings that could have been carrots. So I try not to do things as thickly so I don't end up, I feel like I'm wasting seeds. I know I'm not. My brain says that. But. So with 2 young children and one with a health issue, you know, we definitely don't feel like we're coming out of this anytime soon. And yeah, we probably are being a little hyper careful, more than we really need to be. But I think that everyone's situation is so different, and that, you know, you can only do what's comfortable for you. But during this seed starting time, it's actually been, I think, I'm gonna plant another type of carrot. This is excellent. You guys are so great. I think that we just, there's so much to do during this time of year. Like, especially if you caught my last video. If you didn't, I'll try to link it below. But I've been moving so much compost and so much mulch, just trying to get the beds ready. These beds, my flower beds, my herb beds, my blueberry pots, my onion pots, my potato pots. That it seems like when everyone's kind of getting ready to get back into the world, and so there's no chats over the garden, or no sharing of stories of how things are growing or what you're planning on growing. It's just kind of, all that conversation has just kind of stopped because people are starting to stop that and go back to, I guess, their normal lives. But our lives are kind of going to be the same for a little bit longer. We'll see, you know, where our comfort level is at some point. We can't stay here forever. Thank goodness. And, you know, we are very thankful that we have all the skills that we have to have been so resilient. And all of you too. Can we just talk about that? Like how resilient you guys are. Being at home is one thing, but no one's had to parent through this. No one's had to be a gardener through this. No one's had to be a restaurant worker through this. No one's had to be a retail worker through this. No one's had to do any of the things that any of you are doing right now. And so it's just been one of those really, I don't know, weird, hard years. Does anyone ever have luck with spinach direct sown outside? I mean, oh, I'm not sowing spinach. I already started them for a reason. I'm gonna grow the purple moon kale and we always grow this kale. This is the blue curled Scotch kale. But anyway, I just have felt very, very much alone in the last few, I'll say the last few weeks. We hit our exhaustion, I think, the quarantine exhaustion this week. Because 9,000 square feet is a small amount of space to do as much as we do and also be as isolated as we are. So I also did a little bit of potting this past week. I put my blueberries in. Don't they look wonderful? They came and they were a little woody on the tips. You can see some of the tips here. It's just a little brown. They're fine because you can also see all those buds in there. Maybe. No? Okay. Well, there are buds there. You can see them on my older plants here much better. See how big and beautiful those are. So that's looking great. And then my daughter, who, if anyone's planted with a 3-year-old, it's wonderful. So then my daughter helped me plant our onions, which are down here in bags. And then I like to plant them in bags. I like my potatoes in bags because I mound them up. And then this bed also has radishes in them. This is my tomato bed. This has always been my tomato bed. It may always be my tomato bed. I amend it every year. This year I've got a whole bunch of compost on it, but that will always be my tomato bed. I love walking into the garden, snatching some tomatoes to snack on, and going about my business. And this year we're doing something different with like trellising our plants. Every year our plants get crazy and so we just have to trellis them. Let me back you up a little bit, right? That was a little close. Sorry about that. So it'll always be my tomato bed. And we're gonna try to add some support to our trellises. We've always built our trellises. We DIY them. There's tons of videos on YouTube about how to make your own trellises. We may make a video on our own trellis too, who knows. But this is Helga, and yes, I've named her Helga, and she is my tomato bed. And this is Bertha. Bertha has always been a mix of peppers, mostly peppers, mind you, mostly peppers, but peppers and cabbage. And then this one is, we've got Helga, Bertha. Oh, and now I forgot my third one. That one's Wendy, our little Wendy bed. Which our garlic is looking wonderful. I have more onion bags back here, by the way. Look at that, more onion bags. It's wonderful that my daughter helps me. But the spacing is a little questionable in some of these bags. Like, look here. I know they'll probably do fine, but that spacing is a little close for them to bulb up in a bag. But they look healthy. So that's the biggest thing, is they're healthy and they're in the ground. Now, the garlic also looks really healthy. It's got some really good growth on it. We overwintered this garlic. I was gonna plant something else here in the spring, but because I didn't realize that this would be here until June. But I think that we'll stick with the garlic here and be fine. And then my white ball radish that has been overwintering too is starting to come up really nicely. why I didn't put the compost on top of that. I wanted it to get a little bit bigger before doing that. And then our whole yard really has started to come together. It's the season of getting things ready, right? Don't be fooled by first spring. It is the season of getting things ready. And we've all put in so much planning, so much thought, so much effort, energy, all of that to just make sure that we can grow things in the summer. So don't get ahead of yourself. I would love to show you everything, but this video would be way too long. And while that might be okay for some, it's also been a very exhausting day. I mean, I've moved a lot of compost and mulch in the last couple days, and we've been doing hardscaping, which is so cool. Well, I've been doing hardscaping. So thanks for coming with me and planting carrots with me. If anyone else is feeling lonely or feels like everyone else seems to be going back to normal but you, put a comment down below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel if you want to keep up with different things. If you want to see all the things when we start planting them. And in 2 weeks, we're starting all the things. Our beans, our peas, our zucchinis, our marigolds, our nasturtiums, all the things. So if you want to find out about that video before everybody else, make sure you subscribe. All right, guys, I will talk to you later. Thanks again for coming along with me today.